We're here at the Black Pearl, which is a very well-known restaurant here in Newport, correct?
Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yes, and this is Chef Dan, and I'm so honored to be sitting here because I have heard you were the National Chef of the Year. Nice.
Yep, back in 2004. It was by competition. American Culinary Federation runs the event every year.
That's quite an achievement. So then this has to have the best food in Newport, right?
Well, one of the best. I don't like to say best. It's just I want to be one of the best, that's all.
I gotta tell you that I've never been here before, and whenever I travel somewhere, I always find the locals and I always ask them, where's the best place to eat? And every single person I have asked while I've been here has said the Black Pearl.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
I wish you could remember all their names. I'd send them Christmas cards.
So that's why we're here, and we're so excited to try the food. But first, can you tell me a little bit, about the history and how it got to be here?
It was, I think it was originally in the 60s, became a restaurant. Prior to that, it had many different hats, so to speak. I think it was a masked room, a rope room. It was very nautical back in those days. And but from '64 to present, it's been a restaurant. It's been the Black Pearl. Well, this is Black Pearl clam chowder, which we serve in all three areas. This is a little bit souped up, if you will, avoid the pun there. Specifically for the Commodore's room, it has a couple of other ingredients and a little more clams and no milk, and just a slight variation. Just a little thicker, a little richer, but the flavor profile is the same whether you're outside or up front or inside.
Interesting.
A lot of clams. There is some dillweed, which is no secret, but was once considered the secret ingredient. But
that is good.
And of course the usual, potatoes, onions, cream. But the thing is it's not it's thick, but without being cloying. It doesn't have that gunky or gooey kind of thickness to it.
Right. It's not too thick.
No.
It's still a soup, if you will. I like that. You got a lot of
some different layers of flavor in there as you go through it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's not boring.
Being a big Pirates of the Caribbean fan, this restaurant was before Captain Jack Sparrow, right?
Oh yeah. It was named originally after a ship, Black Pearl ship, that was built right after the war or during the war. Originally, it's all wooden, and it's probably in disrepair somewhere. But when I first came here in 1983, which was the last of the America's Cup summers, the Black Pearl ship was right outside.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so the previous owner owned the ship and the restaurant. So it's come a long way since then. This is the lobster bisque, which we sell, and this is called a glaçage or a gratiné type. There's no cheese in there. It's just unsweetened whipped cream mixed with a little sauce and egg yolk so that it browns off. We throw it in a broiler just to give it a little extra pizzazz. And it has a little piece of lobster in there, but the bisque is sold in the Commodore's room at night.
Okay.
We don't have this throughout the restaurant because it's time consuming to put together. It's made in-house. We don't buy lobster base or anything.
You gotta put a lot of time and care into this.
Yeah, this is a recipe actually that got adapted by me after I did a stagiaire in France. At the Moulin de Mougin in France, a 3-star Michelin. I was there for a week back in the 80s, and I changed the way we made it from New York to his way and brought it here.
So you brought with you, when you came from New York to here, you brought with you a lot.
Yeah, everybody says, what's your specialty, and I say, well, I like to think I'm good at, pretty much everything. I'm not a pastry person, but I've done pastry work. But if you really put a gun to my head, my specialty is soups, sauces, stocks. I was a saucier before I was sous chef at Le Coq Basque and La Vendue in New York.
Wow. Well, that sounds.
So soups and sauces and stocks, stews, those kind of things really all sort of go hand in hand of how to build the finished product.
Yeah. Oh,
Because if you get a great piece of fish or a great steak and you put a lousy sauce on it, you know,
it ruins it.
It ruins it. And then there's some things, you know, that even though I'm like to say I'm a fairly accomplished saucier chef, there's some things that shouldn't have a sauce that are just so good and they're just so standalone flavor, like Nantucket scallops. When we cook them, we just cook them and let them speak for themselves. We don't put it, if somebody wants remoulade or so-called tartar sauce, what we have, or cocktail sauce, we'll of course we'll give it to them.
But you don't recommend it.
Well, no, it's available, but it doesn't need it.
Right.
You know, some people just are used to having, with any kind of seafood that's brown and crispy, they're just automatically want
some
but yeah,
tartar,
and they're so good when they first come out in November, the fresh season. We have them all year round, but the season is mostly in the winter, and when it comes in, the first can, you just open it up and you can just pop it right in your mouth. It's like a little little candy, piece of candy that sort of tastes like a scallop. You know? So sweet. This is one of our most popular dishes because there's a little bit of something for everybody. Not just the sauce and the puff pastry, but as shrimp and sea scallops, not Cape scallops, and lobster. And we always put some of each, some tail, some claw meat. So you sort of have like a half a lobster with 4 or 5 scallops, depending on the size, and 2 shrimp, and a little bit of the lobster sauce, mixed in with a tiny bit of hollandaise on top. Okay. And then this is a champagne type fish sauce on the bottom. Wow, and we just
like a dessert.
Yeah, it just gets pulled with, you just squiggle it with a knife and make a little design.
That's interesting. And so, I mean, it's lobster without having to do all the work to get into it, right?
Right, and you get the combination. A lot of people like to have, you know, we don't do fried seafood platters. We don't do fried food here because of space, and we don't have another fry later other than for the French fries. So this is our upscale version of a seafood assortment platter, right?
Right. That makes sense. Absolutely. Let's see. Get a scallop here. Dig into this thing. Oh no. It's an assortment of flavors, really. Yeah.
And a little crunch factor in there. Yeah.
It's got everything.
The bottom piece, by the time you get to it, is all absorbed from the sauce, so it's not going to be crispy, but the top stays crispy, obviously.